H2K Infosys provides world-class online IT training, staffing, and software testing solutions to customers worldwide. H2K Infosys, how we are different from our competitors. 100% job-oriented training, hands-on project work, cloud test lab, resume preparation and review, mock interviews, robust syllabus, one-time fee and lifetime access to classes, access to recorded sessions of live classes. H2K Infosys has won the trust of thousands of students worldwide. For a free demo class, visit us at h2kinfosys.com.
Alright, the same thing goes here. You have got your basic behavior, just your skeleton of it, and you're supposed to inherit in your subclasses. Okay, any questions on this? Who is not at all familiar about abstract at all? Does it make sense out here? Please ping me if you have any doubts. I'll just wait for a minute because this is very important concept. And if you understand this, we are going to jump on to another topic right now, which will help you in understanding things. So please speak out and come up with some concerns here. Yeah, they can do it. Yeah, there was a question what if subclass needs to use a superclass behavior? As you say, ABC by itself, if you do not even implement your print person behavior, if you talk about XYZ employee has not overridden the behavior of your print person behavior, right? But still, you have the access to. Okay, okay. When you talk about a client here, right? So I say ABC dot print person behavior, right? So ABC, when I go to ABC has already a method as print person behavior, right? Now when you talk about XYZ employee has not overridden the print person behavior, but still ABC will be having XYZ will be still having the access to your print person behavior. Okay, so this is very similar to your extends. Okay, so whenever a subclass is extending a superclass, it will basically access all its behavior. Can you please navigate to XYZ employee.class? Okay, so this is what it is. Is there a question, Ajit, from your side on this?
No, I'm just trying to observe everything. So if there is an abstract method, then only it will give a compile time error if you're not implementing it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if there is any abstract method in an abstract class which we are extending, and then only we need to have that in the child classes, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, if you see, if I go to the employee, did you guys understood the question? The question from Ajit was, if you have an abstract method in the employee class, so we have to implement that in the subclasses. That was the answer. Okay. Now, what if
I have a question. If suppose the subclass is in a different package, then also we can do the same thing.
Yes, doesn't matter at all.
We have to just
extend that. Yeah, we just need to have the imports accordingly. Okay.
So we have to write the import statement too.
Yes, that is required, because if they are in different packages, so there is no point. We already spoke about these access modifiers, right? So whenever any of the classes are there in different packages, the very first thing is you have to import it. Okay.
Correct.
So even if you do not import, how will a class understand about a different class? Even though if you have, let's say, even your company to hire experienced guys is not even extending your ABC employee, but still, in order to create an instance of your ABC employee or XYZ employee, he has to import the packages accordingly. Okay, so that is the funda here. Now, if you see here, one more thing which I'm going to tell you here. Here I am in this company to hire experienced guys is using two classes. One is your ABC employee and one is your XYZ employee, right? Now for that reason I do two imports basically. What I can do, I can just delete this, say star colon. Okay, that means all the classes under this package is present in your company to hire experienced guys class. Okay, but that means what all classes are present? You can see all these classes: ABC, employee, and XYZ. All right. So in this way also you can do it. You don't have to import all the things in specific. All right. But it is always a good practice to be more specific on what you are importing. Reason? There's a reason behind this. If I go back to the Package Explorer to show you the libraries, go to the RT Java dot. ABLang. Okay. Now, as I've been saying you from the very beginning, sorry, not from the beginning, from some previous classes, that by default your java.lang is the one which is going to be imported to your particular class by default. Now, if you see here, so many classes are present, right? So many classes are there. Even though, as of now, we cannot help, we are helpless here. All the classes will be present. Now, what happens during runtime? The class takes some time to load all these things, right? Because before even loading this class, all the classes prior to it, because in this case, before even loading this particular class, all this class as well as this class should be present in this class. For that reason, first these two classes has to be loaded, and then only this class will come in picture. All right. Now, usually what happens is when we go down the line, when we start learning advanced Java courses, we'll see that let's talk about some JDBC concept, that is related to your database. Just for an instance here, Java dot. Okay, let's talk about math otherwise here. Okay, so there are a lot of packages here. No, not a good example here. Okay, Java.sql. Okay, now if you can see here, when we talk about JDBC in specific, if I do the same thing, let's say java.lang, something like this, import java.sql.star, and I'll be using some of the classes under this. I'm talking about the same hierarchy here. Okay, now what happens basically under this SQL package, there are many classes which are present. Okay, but I'm only interested about your timestamp here, for example, right? But even though I'm interested in about timestamp, I'm just saying star here. So what is going to happen? There'll be a performance hit basically in order to load your class here, right? So this is just an example here. If I talk about the same example, what we were talking about. Now, as of now, let's say we have got an employee here, and we have got ABC employee and XYZ employee. Okay. Now let's try to create a class for each and every company which is present in US. So we'll end up turning around, let's say 3,000 or 4,000 classes we have to create it, right? Now when I talk about a company to hire, and when I say .star, okay, but in this company to hire, he has only come to hire ABC employee and XYZ employee. He's not at all interested in any other company in this whole world, right? But still, when I say .star, what happens? All the 4,000 classes will be loaded first, and then this class comes into picture. So in order to get rid of that, in order to get rid of your performance hit, right, you only import that specific class which you needed in your class. Okay, pretty much clear, I believe. All right. So let's go back to the ABC employee, and here
so what if the ABC employee is also abstract, or the public class ABC employee is even abstract? So the abstract and abstract can understand each other, right?
I'm coming to that. That was my next topic, Ajit.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So here we spoke about the hierarchy here, and let's say ABC is a very huge company, and it has got its own sub employees in it. Okay, So let's say, let me take a good example here. Okay, so new. Okay, let me just rename this to Reliance employees. Okay, so Reliance by itself is a huge company. It has got many branches under it. Let's say it has got its oil branch. I mean, we'll talk about it. Okay, so for now I have created an Reliance employee who's basically extending your employee here. Okay, now Reliance employee, which is extending your employee. So do all those things, blah blah blah. So let me do one thing. Let me, being a abstract interface example, right click new package. Under that, let me create dot Reliance. Finish. Okay, and let me drag and drop this inside this. Right. So what did I do? I have created a Reliance, change the package to Reliance. All right. Okay, and I'm just going to extend your employee. I have to import that. So this one. Okay. Now what did I do? Same thing. I mean, I just switched the package here. Instead of I was very specific because I have to create some more employees accordingly. So let's say under Reliance, Reliance has got its own Reliance oil employees and Reliance what all fields? Okay, Reliance Petrol and Reliance Clothing. Okay, so let's say Reliance has got a lot of branch in it. So I'm going to say right click new. Now when I talk about Reliance employee, now when you talk about an employee here, it is on a top hierarchy and XYZ employees have extended your employee here. Correct? Now here even Reliance employee, when you talk about Reliance employee, that means there are a lot of employees. Now I want to separate what kind of employees are they. Okay, so let's say here new package. Okay. And I'm just going to say OIL, oil employees. So under this oil package, I'll be creating employees related to your oil, right? So right click new class, and I'm going to say this as Reliance oil employee. Okay, and it is going to extend which class? It will not. I won't have this hierarchy to extend your employee directly because they belong to a Reliance company itself, right? So they have to extend your Reliance employee, right? That is how the hierarchy goes basically, right? So whenever you have issues in your company, you go and talk to the manager. You don't go and talk to the CEO, right? So this is kind of an hierarchy you even follow, all right? So here I'm just going to say Reliance employee. Okay, so pretty much good here. And let me have the constructors out here. Pretty simple hierarchy here. And let me even under your Reliance, right click new package. Let me say clothing. Okay. Now under this clothing, I'm just going to create a new class here. I'm just going to say here Reliance clothing employee. Okay, so pretty much plain and simple. I have created. Okay, so this has to extend here. Copy this, come here and paste it, and create a constructor accordingly. Now, why am I doing all these things here, right? Reliance employee. Okay, but still, whenever I talk about a Reliance employee, I will not talk about a Reliance employee in specific. I will talk about a Reliance clothing employee, or I'll talk about oil employee, because either an employee will be present in either of these two. Okay, he will be not present out of this. Okay, so what should I do basically? I will make a particular class. I will not allow anyone to create an instance of your Reliance employee directly. correct? Why should I do that? Okay, now in that case, okay, let me do the other way out. As an employee, right? So I want to have on the top of the hierarchy, I want to have public abstract. Okay, public abstract. So what should I say here? I will just say void. Let's say this employee is from an IT company, and this is not an IT company basically. So here I'm just going to say employment type. Okay, so what kind of employment it is, right? So that's what if you talk about an oil employee is going to say, I'm from the oil company, I'm from your clothing company, and whatnot. So copy this. Now let's go back to all the other hierarchy. Come here. There's no compilation issue here. Come here. There is no compilation issue here. But if you remember, we spoke about if you have an abstract method in your abstract class, and if this class has been extended by some other class, you basically get a compile time error here. But if you see, there is no compile time error here. There is no compile time error in your oil employees also. But let's go back to this particular class. If you see here, this class has got a compile time error, right? Now, what should we do in order to get rid of this? Very well, I can do that. I can click on this and just say add unimplemented methods. So I can do that. But still, if I say something like sys out and say I am what type, being a Reliance employee, and Reliance employee has got different branches here, I cannot give any generic message here. I cannot say for a particular employee that I am Reliance employee. I want the base class, the base class to implement this particular functionality. So I want to say that I cannot simply say I am Reliance employee, right? Because if I say Reliance employee, no one understands whether you are from the oil or from the clothing employee, right? So what I don't want this default implementation to be added in the super class here, because for clothing employee and for oil employee, Reliance employee is the super class, right? He is not at all bothered about any other classes at all, right? Now let me, before that, as you know, if we have an abstract method, we just need to implement this. So let me add an implemented method here. Now let's go back again. Reliance Clothing and Reliance Oil Company. Now, what should I do? I want, the way we spoke about XYZ employee, and XYZ employee is actually overriding your employee behavior as well as your employment type behavior, right? We have forced the subclass to use it, right? Now, how do I force these subclasses to access or to implement the behavior of employment type, right? So let me comment this out, right? Once I comment this out, what am I going to do is I am going to make, and again, keep one more thing in mind. I don't want if let's say being a client, okay, let's say, what is this? Okay, Reliance. So if I talk about a client program here, so when I talk about a client program, let's say enter, right? So, okay, let me just organize this and let me comment out all these things for now. Okay, now when I talk about Reliance employee, what should I do basically? I should say, I should not basically say Reliance employee, okay, RELE equals to new of Reliance employee. Why I should not do that? Because I don't want to create an Reliance employee. I'm only concerned about a clothing hierarchy or a oil hierarchy here at all. I'm not at all concerned about a Reliance employee. Whenever I should create an instance of a class, I should either create the instance of that particular employee, whether he's an oil or he's from the clothing, right? So this is ruled out for me. I should not give the access for the end client or any of the guy who is actually creating the employee reference here to create the employee reference. So this is basically ruled out. Okay, now we know that already, we have seen it just now, that if you don't want anyone to create an instance of this class, you make that particular class as abstract. Okay, let's go back here. We have a compilation error here. So what am I going to do is, I'm going to first make this as an abstract. Okay, the bottom line, if your superclass is abstract and it has got an abstract method, and if you do not want to implement that particular method in your subclasses, immediate subclass, make that particular class also as an abstract. Okay, now my goal is all set. My objective is, first of all, I do not want anyone to create an instance of a Reliance employee. Okay, without, and if you see here, Reliance employee, let me save this. Okay, now this is not basically possible even if I give this age. Okay, now this is not possible because, as I said, I have made that particular class as an abstract. Okay, now this is one of my objective is fulfilled here. I'm making this as an abstract so that I cannot create an instance of this. So to whom I can create the instance of? Basically, I can create the instance of the clothing or the oil. Now if you see here, when I talk about a clothing or oil employee, it is giving me a compile time error. What it says? Add unimplemented methods, because it has not the hierarchy. In this hierarchy, when I talk about in this hierarchy, employee is on the top. Employee has employment type method, which is just the skeleton. Under this, you have got Reliance employee. Reliance employee has not overridden this. If it would have been overridden this one, then there is no compile time error in your Reliance oil. But as I said, in your Reliance employee, I do not want this to be this to give a default behavior, right? So who should implement this? Coming on to the Reliance clothing employee, they have to implement this. So add unimplemented method, save this, and go to your Reliance oil and add unimplemented methods, right? So now whoever creates let's say when you talk about Reliance oil employee type, so he says that sys out I am from, okay, I am oil type. Okay, and the other guy says I am clothing type. Okay, and I'm good right now. So when I come back to the company to hire, I basically cannot do this, as I know that, and I basically will do something like this. So create an instance of your Reliance clothing employee, RCE equals to new of okay, age is 15, say for example 15, that is underage but still. Okay, so now when I say RCE dot, a lot of things are coming up. I'm only interested about your employee type. Right click, run as Java application, right? So I'm a clothing type. Okay, so this is the main objective to talk about this hierarchy. Is we are creating a hierarchy and we want the end client to create a particular class in specific, do not want to misuse any of the other things at all. Okay, so we are basically talking about hierarchy. And as you know, when I talk about a Reliance clothing employee, he very well have the access to your your print behavior of your Reliance employee. Okay, as well as if suppose you have some basic default behavior, let's say you just want to print the name, right? So I just say public void print name, right? So when you talk about print name will never change. It is very generic message which I want to give it to each and every employee who basically is extending your employee here. So I'll just simply say sys out. Okay, and name is plus name, right? So this is a very generic message which everybody can use it. So I have just made this name as this particular method as public void here. Okay, and the same behavior everyone can access it. So if I just copy this and go to your company to hire guys and say rce dot print name, it is visible here. Right click, run as Java application. So it says name is the issue. Okay, so objective, if you have some very default implementation for each and every hierarchy in that particular each and every class in that hierarchy, put that in the supermost class. Okay, now I know that this is from the Reliance Oil, right? This is from your, let's say, IT employee, right? So click on this, rename to IT employee. And when I talk about IT employee, they might be having their own hierarchy. There are a lot of companies as well. So IT employee. Okay. So this is what it is basically. It is an IT employee, and again, IT employee is going to extend your employee here, right? Now, I'll just take 5 more minutes. I know whenever I talk about an IT employee will always have a computer access, and let's say everybody knows some coding, right? So if let's say I go to the employee, where is my employee here? Okay, I give some basic functionality of my employee here, right? So I say public void, let's say computer experience. Okay, now I can give some default functionality here, right? And I say, let's, for the sake of discussing right now, I can just say I have no experience, because I know the guy who are in the clothing industry or the oil industry, they don't even have any kind of computer experience, right? Now tell me, this computer experience method is at the top of the hierarchy, that is in the employee. Now if this is not applicable to the employees who are from the clothing industry or from the oil industry, why should I have this feature here, right? I should basically cut this, right, and paste it somewhere in the IT employee, right? Correct. So this is what it is basically, when you do not have a particular behavior or do not want any default functionality in this way, be more specific in that particular hierarchy. So when I talk about employee, it will be having its own behavior, which is very common. If you want to be more specific, go to the subclasses and make that subclasses. Again, let's say if I make this as an abstract, right? And in this abstract class, I will make this computer experience as an abstract method. Okay, so that whoever ABSTRACT, so whoever is going to extend your IT employee, they are going to implement this behavior. Okay, your company Reliance clothing employee is not at all concerned about your computer experience, because they are in two different hierarchy. Okay, so IT employee extending employee, as well as Reliance employees extending your employee. And I have implemented the computer experienced, just given the skeleton of your computer experience to the IT employees, not to the employee here, right? So this computer experience will be not applicable to your Reliance employees, because they are in two different hierarchy. Okay, does it make sense, guys? We cannot create object to abstract classes. No, we cannot create object to abstract classes. Okay, so is it pretty much clear from everyone? If you guys can just say yes, yes, yes. I'll be even checking in this file. I want you guys to at least practice these hierarchy and come up with some concerns tomorrow.
Yeah, I got, but I have one question.
Yeah, please.
The question is, the method, an abstract method, can we, instead of having the default signature in the subclass, can we extend it and overriding. Sorry, and overloading.
You're talking about overloading or overriding here?
Overriding and overloading both.
So let's say in this Reliance employee, you want to override this employee behavior
and with
string name.
Yeah, like that, and without having the top. Without having the.
Having what?
You cannot override.
You cannot give the annotation as override, because when you talk about, first of all, two methods with the same signature are not allowed. Okay. And if you say override, there is no method as such in the superclass, right, with the same signature. So obviously it is going to give me a compile time error here. Okay. And I want you guys to create the instances. I have not created the instances as such here. This is having a compile time error. I'm not going to correct this file right now. I'm going to just check in as it is. So I want you guys to figure out what is the issue and even come up with some examples. Okay. Try to access your clothing employee and have some private or protected or public variables inside this. Try to access it. Keep this as your base class. Your client program, and try to do all the manipulations right out here. Okay. So I'm going to check in right now, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, with some questions I expecting. And tomorrow we'll see. Okay, I think we have already spoken about polymorphism. We'll even talk about interfaces and what is an interface and what is the use of that. We'll combine both extents. When we'll combine abstract classes, we'll combine interfaces and whatnot. Okay, so stay tuned. But I want you guys to practice these examples at least. Okay, see the videos and do you guys get the videos instantly now? No. Okay. How much time it takes basically? Can anyone tell me now? Because I have already requested them. So if suppose today class is done, so when do you get the videos?
So far we have only 10 videos. Video 10 until video 10.
So
I think last was video 12. Today's is video 13, I believe.
Okay. One sec.
H2K Infosys provides world-class online IT training, staffing, and software testing solutions to customers worldwide. H2K Infosys, how we are different from our competitors. 100% job-oriented training, hands-on project work, cloud test lab, resume preparation and review, mock interviews, robust syllabus, one-time fee and lifetime access to classes, access to recorded sessions of live classes. H2K Infosys has won the trust of thousands of students worldwide. For a free demo class, visit us at h2kinfosys.com.